as it may annoy the liberals, I hope my future kids become fat cat millionaires on Wall Street. And that's because I am a capitalist. Like you, I believe in the free market. I don't believe anyone or anything is too big to fail. Think about it. When did we come to this point in America where we tax success and bail out failure? It doesn't make sense.
That's right.
When did we decide that we should scrap the best medical system in the world and redesign it to look more like Europe's? When did we decide it was a good idea for the government to buy and take over car companies? For the president of these United States to be able to fire CEOs? When did we decide it was a good idea to spend trillions of dollars we don't have? We did not decide this. We, the American people, who the majority consider themselves to be conservatives, did not decide any of this. A small elite class of Ivy League educated people in Washington, D.C. did. And now all of a sudden, they're surprised when we raise up our hands and say, "Excuse me, something's wrong up there. We don't have any money. We like our healthcare system, and we still respect the Constitution."
We've got a lot of issues that are facing us. The bailout, the financial system meltdown, just so many things that we need to be aware of. The people in Washington that want to be in charge of your health care are the same people that wanted home ownership for every American. I want home ownership for every American when they have saved the money and made the commitment. The responsible in our society cannot continue to bail out the irresponsible.
Arkansas is in a different time zone than New York. Fox News is. So, what month is it now? Next month? August. Then? September. Then? October. Then? November is coming. You know, what's going to happen in 2011 based on the election of 2010, will determine what happens to the future of this country.
That's right.
When Obama took office, his goal was not to solve the recession. His goal was to use the recession as an excuse to implement his plans for bigger and bigger government. His chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, used to work for me. Should have fired him when I had the chance. Rahm said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." So Obama didn't. He took office with a big recession. He's made it worse. And what he said was, we need to spend a lot of money, because the more money we spend, the more we'll stimulate the economy, and the more we'll create jobs. But he couldn't raise the taxes to pay for that, so he borrowed the money. And the result is that the amount of money the federal government spends, along with state and local governments, rose from 30% of our economy, which it had been ever since Ronald Reagan put it there in 1982, up to 40%. But it's borrowed money. Now at 40%, we are a socialist country. To me, socialism is not an epithet, it's not even a philosophy, it's a statistic. What percent of your economy comes from the federal government and state governments? And in Britain it's 40, in France it's 48, in Germany it's 46, and under Obama in the United States it's headed up into the mid-40s. But if we can roll that back to 30, where America has always been, we will roll back Obama's socialist agenda with it. We lost 3,000 at the Trade Center. They lost 50,000, more than as much as we lost in Vietnam, just in those 4 or 5 months of the air battle over Britain. And Franklin Roosevelt sent Harry Hopkins, his chief aide, to see Winston Churchill. And he gave him, in his own handwriting, a quote from a poem by Longfellow. Sail on, O ship of state. Sail on, O nation strong and great. Humanity, with all its fears, with all its hope for future years, is hanging breathless on thy fate. And that's what the 2010 election is all about.